Hello folks, this is Jeff with the Junkyard Kid channel, and today I'm going to show you automatic transmission that I'm working on, talk about it just a little bit, and the main purpose of this video is to explain why if you own an older classic car, something that's automatic, that say the transmission's never been worked on and it's a 40, 50-year-old or more car, and if you have any work done on it, mechanical work, why it might be a good idea to have the transmission just freshened up. So let's flip this camera around and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, what I'm working on here today, this is an old Ford, has a few names depending on what it come out of, but a lot of people call it a cast iron case automatic. That's for obvious reasons. They had the name of a Ford-O-Matic, Cruise-O-Matic, Merc-O-Matic. Eventually it evolved into what was known as the FMX, which I believe was built up to about 1979. And got this one all cleaned up, and most of the sub-assemblies have been rebuilt, cleaned up. Like the valve body, I pulled it all apart, just made sure all the valves are free and everything. Mainly get all the gunk out just from it. You know, this comes out of a 1958 Edsel, so that's not too far away from being 70 years old. And the thing that I've run into, okay, let's back up a little bit. This transmission, I would say, before I tore it apart, if I'd have put it in the car, probably would have worked. You look here, these are your clutches. These ones actually had a metallic lining on the frictions. I did replace all them, and it's got the newer fiber type lining. But none of them are burnt. You know, there's a little bit of, I guess you call scuffing. I got a suspicion this may have been ran low on oil. And the reason I say that is we look at this front oil pump, and it's kind of chewed up there a little bit. And these transmissions and these Edsels, majority of them in 58 had what was called a Teletouch automatic. It was a push button automatic, and actually I can show you, happen to have this convertible here that was my dad's before he passed. You got the shifter buttons right in the steering column, and the thing is that is actually electric, it's not mechanical. And what they had on these transmissions as a safety device was called a inhibitor switch that went in here, and that was so if that switch and everything's in order, you could go down a road at whatever speed, put it in park or reverse, and it would keep the transmission from shifting into that gear, which naturally would cause a lot of damage. The drawback with them is at times they would leak, and when they would leak very quickly. And it was disabled on this car, so I got a feeling that happened. Maybe that's why this is kind of chewed up. One other thing I seen when I pull it apart, if you look close here, there's a little crack on the servo, but I think it still would have worked. So like I said, this probably would have been a working transmission. But the thing that I've learned over years of doing transmissions, I've done these for probably a good 40 years. I don't do as many now as I used to. But what'll happen, you got a clutch piston in your clutch assemblies. There's one here. This one I haven't, it's all put together, but there's a clutch piston down there. And there is a rubber O-ring or sealing ring, hydraulic ring really, in here. And then there's one on the outside in this one. And here's what happens when they get to be of this age, or what can happen. Here's one of them. See how that's cracked? And it's just brittle. Look at that. Look at the brakes. These are the inner ones. They're both cracked. This one, surprisingly, it's still got some flexibility. So what'll happen, you get the thick car back together or get it driving, and with these this hard, they're just not going to hold the pressure like they should, or they could fail, you know, could possibly crack. And you get into some of your newer transmissions, and newer, I'm meaning ones built in the 60s and later, a lot of them went to what they call a lip type seal. But I have seen them too, you know, for many years of use and just sitting in age or whatever. You know, every time this thing is ran, you got a pretty good heat cycle it goes through. These are split too. So, like I said, the basis of this little video is just to tell you or explain that if you're working on an older classic car and got it apart, maybe you have it at a shop doing some mechanical work or something like that on it, and if they suggest going through the transmission, even though it might be working, there's probably a good reason why, because just some time and age, like I'm showing here, these seals, they just get dry and just get hard and brittle and become a problem. So that's our little short video for today. If you like what you see here, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, we'll talk to you later.